Jamal Lascelles, Carl Darlow, and you're watching Newcastle Fans TV.
Everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. My name is Will Dixon and welcome to another transfer video. And in this one, Newcastle have seemingly made a transfer breakthrough finally for our second signing. The name going by Florian Lejeune. We've talked about this guy before. Seemingly something has agreed. Reports in Spain have said this. This is reported on the Chronicle. They quoted the sources in Spain saying the days of Florian Lejeune as a player of the Eibar are numbered. The club has done everything possible to try to convince the player to stay, but they cannot compete with their tantalising offer. It's a very interesting, word use. Let's go with that. Offer of Newcastle, who are now prepared to pay the €10 million clause in his contract in full, his release clause, having tried to make a payment in two parts, something which the Barcelona club flatly refused. Newcastle persuaded the player very quickly with an offer for 4 years that doubles the salary he perceives in Eibar, but they have been much more reluctant to accept that they had to pay the release clause Eibar had asked for. Newcastle had decided to reverse their position, and everything indicates that in the coming days they will make the payment in full to prevent third parties from interfering in the operation. It should not be forgotten that Roma, whose new sports director is the ex-president Monchi, let's go with that, also hinted interest in signing Lejeune, although the $4 million allegedly offered was rejected. So what seemed to be the hold-up with this one was how we would pay that £8.7 million release clause. We were offered to do it in two parts. They rejected that. We're now just going to pay the whole thing in full, and he will become a Newcastle player very, very soon. That's great news to hear, that we are making some sort of a breakthrough. Next one, we've been linked with a player called Acquah. I might have got that completely wrong, but seems like that's what it would sound like. Dubbed the next Michael Essien at one point, the Ghana midfielder, 25 years old, centre midfielder, plays for Torino in Italy, in the Serie A, and was sort of being said to be like a sort of tough tackling midfielder who likes to dribble with the ball, can also play as a right winger. He said this today. Yes, it is very likely I will be moving to England. It is 90% complete, but we are still talking once we finish. I am sure an announcement will be made. It has been a dream of mine to play in England, and I am very close to achieving this. How Newcastle fit into this is that Newcastle are the only English club that are linked to him. The other strong one was Juventus. Defensive midfielder, yeah, sounds about right. Would mean that Colback probably leaves now. Competition for Isaac Hayden sort of seems to fit the bill. Although I couldn't tell you if he's actually a good player because I've never seen him. I trust in Rafa, to be honest, and that would be my message. Next one is Tammy Abraham. So I'm kind of getting sick talking about this guy, but played very, very well today in the England under-21s who won. Swansea have now come in and apparently registered their interest. Their chairman, Hugh Jenkins, I think his name is, said to the BBC that they are very much interested in signing Tammy Abraham, but also said that Brighton and Newcastle have also been linked, so it's now down to him and his family and obviously his representatives and what they want to do. I mean, it's going to be an interesting one to see where he actually ends up going. It seems now a couple of clubs are like sort of latching on. I know there was a link to Chelsea sort of feeder club in Holland, which is Vitesse, I want to say. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see where he goes, but chances are he will be a Premier League player come some point late June, early July. We really don't know what he's going to do here. We seem to be the front runners. We seem to already have a deal in place that Chelsea are happy with, and part of that would be how much football he gets. So let's see. We could be linked to a few more players. We've been linked to Calvin Chambers. From Arsenal, was on loan at Middlesbrough last season, played very well for Middlesbrough at centre-back, can also play as right-back, £50 million rated, quite a large sum of money, but I think he's a great player from what I've seen. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he was someone that I was talking about as someone we should be looking at this summer. Can play as centre-back, can play as right-back. This one seems to be more with him in mind as maybe a right-back. If Gomez is to leave, which might still happen, he comes in and he offers that different option to what Yedlin is. It's kind of the same as what Dummett is, compared to like Haidar or Lazar, or the sort of attacking left back that we need to get in, like a Kieran Gibbs, for example. Apparently Everton are also registering an interest, so we'll have to see how that one develops. But I think that would be a great move for us if we could pull it off. We were also linked to Vincent Aboubakar, Cameroonian striker who played for Besiktas last season, and I think he's on loan there from Porto. Besiktas are trying to negotiate to buy him permanently. However, there was a report that came out that said Newcastle were in advanced negotiations. The Chronicle, the Riders, kind of completely flattened that one out and said that one is definitely not happening. And finally, to talk about Willy Caballero. His agent came out and said some very strange things, said that Newcastle and Brighton were both linked. Also, Chelsea have been linked. They seem to be the front runners now. Apparently Newcastle is cold, but pretty. I mean, it's been absolutely blazingly hot for the past few days, plus 30 degrees, so I don't really know what he's on about. However, he seems to want to go to Chelsea and be their second choice keeper behind Thibaut Courtois after Begovic left for Bournemouth. Also, just another add-on. I forgot to say this in the initial one, talking about an out. Matt Sels has moved closer to his loan move to Belgian side Anderlecht. We all kind of expected this to happen this summer, that Sels would be either sold or farmed out on loan back to Belgium as probably the most likely destination. Going back to Anderlecht, one of the bigger clubs in Belgium, hopefully we'll get a good amount of experience, but with a lot of loan spells that are related to Newcastle, such as Remy Cabella and Florian Thauvin. These loan spells for more senior players do tend to lead on to them leaving permanently. It wouldn't surprise me, considering the wealth of goalkeeping options we have, especially with young Freddie Woodman coming through the ranks, that he should be given an opportunity, if not this season, then in the next seasons after. But yes, they're all the transfer rumours.
Thanks, Will. From the transfers that you mentioned, I was only able to find odds for two of them. It's Tammy Abrahams is 7-1 and Colin Chambers is 4-1. I don't know about the other transfers. Let me know in the comments below what do you think about them. And don't forget to check out our partners. It's Bet Online and Sports Betting. They both offer you welcome bonuses. So links are in the description below. See you later.